Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to episode 143 of the FAB and Fearless Business Booster Shot Show. My name is Yinka. I am a business strategist. I am a coach, a speaker, and an incoming author. And I support women to create wealth in and through their businesses by helping them to focus on what matters most for the business, which is cash flow and strategy, and what matters most for the business owner, which is mindset and habits. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this 143rd episode of the Booster Shot Show, where each week at 1:30 p.m. UK time on a Wednesday, I come to you with a short, sharp shot to boost both you and your business with one powerful truth and one actionable tip. And if you can see and hear me over on my socials, over on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, feel free to jump into the chat and say hello. Hi, Jackie Raymond. It is so lovely to have you in the room. I am so grateful that you are ever with us. You are here today. It is fabulous to have you in the spaces. Welcome to this week's Booster Shot Show, where we will be talking about the truth about money and finance. So if you are in the spaces, and thank you for letting me know that you can see and hear me over on YouTube. I want to make sure and check that we are live over on LinkedIn and on Facebook too. Hi, Sharon. Thank you for joining me today. Awesome lady. Thank you so much for also letting me know that we are live over on my LinkedIn profile. So thank you for sharing that with me. I just now want to go and check Facebook because we want to make sure that all of the tech is doing what the tech is supposed to be doing. In the meantime, ladies, please come in. Let me know, how are you doing today on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being, oh my gosh, Yinka, things could not be any worse. 10 being, wow, Yinka, things are fabulous and could not be any better. Please let me know how you are doing today. I would love to get a sense of the scores on the doors. Today I'm good. I'm coming in on a solid 8.75. Don't forget the decimals. Feeling good today. Really excited to share this particular topic. We also have a bit of a booster shot show first as well. I have a little graphic to show you today. We are talking the truth about money and finance. Jackie, Sharon, let me know how you are doing today. Let me check Facebook and let us rock and roll. While we are doing that, feel free to tag a friend if you know that you have incredible women, men in your spaces, and you know that they do great work. You know that they are brilliant and create real value, but that they could definitely do with having more of the good stuff. Then we definitely tag them in by name. Make sure that they are aware of the little party happening in this side of the platforms. Hi, Amy Moser, welcome. It's so good to have you here. I'm so sorry, Sharon, you are having an introvert hangover. I have had an introversion hangover over the last few days, so it is great to be able to kind of journey through that and come through to the other side. Ladies and gents, today I am blowing this thing wide open when it comes to sharing the truth about money and finance. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because the work that I do, I spend so much time talking about money, talking about cash flow, talking about business. And what I discovered is most people, when I talk about what I do, they think what I focus on is finance because they heard the word money. And what I have actually come to discover, and what I'm going to share a bit more about with you today, is how finance and money are two completely different, not unrelated, but completely different concepts, in a way that if we do not unravel them and detangle their meaning, we are absolutely going to stunt the amount of cash that we are able to put into our businesses, our bank accounts, and our lives. And that is definitely not the vibe. We are not here to stunt any of the cash that we want. And so unraveling and detangling the difference between money and finance is incredibly important. As I said to you before, I have a little graphic that I want to show to you today to demonstrate to you the difference between money and finance and how they link together, but how they are incredibly different. And hopefully that will give you a real sense of understanding and of empowerment to understand how it is that you get to really create the shift that you want in your business, bank account, and life. And so the first thing to say is that I have a financial background. So I did an economics degree at university. Shout out to a Manchester uni. I am a Manchester uni alumna. It was 3 fantastic years that I spent on campus gaining my economic studies degree. And I began my career in investment banking. So I absolutely have a financial background. I spent almost 5 years in 2 very different divisions in the investment bank. I was first of all in operations, and then I was in the investment banking division, or IBD as it was known then. I was certified by the Financial Services Authority here in the UK. They are now the Financial Conduct Authority. But the reason I'm telling you this is because whenever I'm speaking about money, about finance, I want you to know that this isn't just stuff I got off YouTube University. I went to a legit university and worked for many, many years in the finance space. So the first thing I want you to understand is, as I share this definition with you, this is not a theoretical definition. This is not a definition that I have just made up. Hey, Kevin, it is so good to have you. And yes, you're absolutely right. Kevin says, I think Yinka knows what she is talking about. That's exactly how I want you to feel. I want you to know that I'm not just out in these lean, mean social media streets chatting about stuff that I don't know about. Not least because it's really easy to do that. And we see people all the time talking from a position of authority where perhaps they don't quite have the authority that they should have. It's very easy to learn something on a Monday and then to sell and then go and teach people that thing on a Friday. That isn't what is happening here. I have a long and varied history with the finance industry. And as I said, as somebody who was regulated to give investment advice, as someone who is certified as a sophisticated investor, I do understand finance both in practical terms, but also in professional terms. And so when I say to you that money and finance are not the same thing, I hope that you will take it in the spirit in which it is given. Now, I'm not trying to bust your balls or any other part of your body or whatever the expression is. I'm not trying to discount the importance of the nature of finance. Finance is powerful. It is incredibly important. And interestingly, the reason why after I did my economics degree, I went into finance is because I wanted to learn about money. I went into finance to learn about money. And what I actually came to discover is that what I needed to know about money couldn't be learnt in a financial environment. Yep, I'm letting it land. The tech is not teching. I haven't gone quiet because I've frozen. I've gone quiet because I want that to land with you. What I wanted to learn about money was not available to be learned in a financial environment. Kevin's laughing because he says he's an unsophisticated investor. Well, for us in the UK, sophisticated investor is a classification that you have to be given that designation in order for you to be able to invest in certain asset classes, to be able to make certain sizes of investment, and to be able to engage in certain asset classes and products. So there are things that you have to be able to tick off and prove. But yeah, there are many unsophisticated investors, Kevin. Don't you worry, you are not alone. But yeah, it wasn't like a flex or anything. It was just one of the credentials that I wanted to share in terms of my own financial background. And so I wanted to know about money, and I went into the financial space and discovered that what I needed to know about money wasn't available in the financial space. So that it was part of that experience that began to teach me about the difference between finance and money. And so while I definitely have one powerful truth and one actionable tip for you today, I just want to be clear with you that while finance and money are related, they are not the same by any stretch of the imagination. There are people who are excellent at financial management, excellent at understanding the spreadsheets, the calculations, the algorithm and formula that go into powerful finance, who are not good with money. I know, right? That shouldn't sound like it sounds like it shouldn't be possible, but it really, really is. So what I'm going to do now, and I hope that the tech actually works. I tested it earlier, and took the opportunity to check on it. So I'm hoping that it works now. But what I want to show you is a diagram that I created in preparation for a guest expert session that I ran earlier in the week. I was given the opportunity to speak to a group of public speakers about the concept of cash and cash flow. And I wanted to explain to them the difference or the role that finance has as it relates to money and how they are really different. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to share my little screen now, and show you the diagram I want to share. Hopefully, what you are looking at is what I'm looking at, which is a white slide which says the truth about money and a picture of an iceberg. And the iceberg metaphor is incredibly powerful because the iceberg metaphor gives us the opportunity to truly understand that there is so much more beneath the surface. If someone could jump into the chat and just let me know that they can indeed see this image of the iceberg and this slide that says the truth about money on it, that would be really helpful. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you letting me know. So, ladies and gents, what I want you to understand is that this iceberg is the concept and the idea of money. And what we can see is that while there is an element of this iceberg that is visible, a vast majority of the iceberg is invisible, and lies below the water level. And so this is why I wanted me to have this conversation, because whenever people hear money, they think finance. They think finance and they think about the pounds and the pence in our pockets and our purses. And that makes sense because that's the bit that we can see. The bit of money that we can see is the physical piece, the pennies, the pounds, the pence, the dollars, the cents, the euros, whatever currency. And that part of money is absolutely engaged in the financial expression of money. But here's the thing, and the reason why this matters is because we know, I hear it all the time, we know that people have this belief that if they are not good at finance or they're not good at numbers, then they can't be good at money. I hear it all the time. I hate spreadsheets. I'm not good with numbers. Oh, I don't really understand, the financial piece. Therefore, I am bad at money. And what I want you to know that is just the tip of the iceberg. In real life, in the world that we live in, only 7% of the money that is available in the world, and this stat was picked up a few years ago. So only 7% of money is physical. Only 7% of the money that so 7 pence out of every pound, for example, for us in the UK, actually transpires as physical cash. Welcome, Sylvia. Lovely to have you here. And the financial part, the spreadsheets part, what happens, and kind of the financial management piece part, that's all above the water level. But that's literally just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to money. The financial expression of money is the output, is, if you can imagine another metaphor, is the fruit of the tree. So it's what happens after all the other things have happened. And the reason why I want you to be super clear about how this works is because money is so much more than just financial. And in fact, when we look at what lies beneath, this is the true nature, the vast majority of the nature of money. It is energetic. It is belief driven. It is relational. It is historical, in that the stories and the expressions of money that your ancestors, so your parents and their parents and their parents and their parents, going back in time, how they experienced and expressed money, it will feed absolutely dramatically in many different ways into how you experience money, into what's called your money story, into your understandings and beliefs around money. Money is emotional. Money is energetic. It is a store of value. And the money that you experience is a function of your perceived identity. And so it is everything that lies beneath the water level of that iceberg that goes to create what you see above it. The financial expression of money is only the fruit of the tree. Everything else that you can see below the water level of that iceberg, they are the roots. They are the roots. They come from the seeds. And the reason why I want you to be super clear about this metaphor is because we spend so much time obsessed with the fruit of the tree. And we get really annoyed at the fruit of the tree. We literally walk up to apple trees and go, "Why are you producing apples? Damn you, apple tree." Damn you. And the apple tree produces apples. Why? Because you planted apple seeds. You planted apple seeds. If you wanted a different type of fruit, you needed to plant a different type of seed. As the saying goes, the fruit is controlled by the roots. And so the reason why I wanted to show you this diagram today, and I'm super excited because I literally didn't know that I could do this in this piece of tech before about 25 minutes ago, is that the truth about money is that it's so much bigger than finance. It's so much broader than finance. The financial piece is the outcome. If you do not align yourself and get to grips with the energetic piece, the belief piece, the relational, the historic, the emotional, and your perceived identity, you will absolutely be that person shouting at apple trees when what you needed to have done was plant orange seeds. And so what this comes to show to us is that you can be fantastic at finances. You can be brilliant at the financial piece of money. And yet, if you do not deal with what lies beneath, you still won't be able to create wealth. You still will not master your money. And equally, being not as good with the financial piece of money doesn't stop you from being fantastic at money if you have gotten to grip with what lies beneath. And so, just as a means of really quickly sharing this final piece, it is to understand that so much of what goes on above the water is really focused on and dealt with and managed in our conscious mind. And our conscious mind accounts for 5% of kind of how our brain works. And all of the rest of this stuff is really led and housed and dealt with by our subconscious mind. which is ultimately 95% of how our brain works and what goes on with us and how that it all fits together. And so the powerful truth that I want to share with you today comes from a quote by Carl Jung. And he says, and he reminds us that until you make the subconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. Let me say that again. Until you make the subconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. And the reason why I'm sharing this in relation to the diagram that you're looking at is you might be looking at your finances and saying, oh my gosh, more apples. You may well be looking at your finances and thinking, grr, this is not what I want. But then that isn't the part that ultimately changes the game. The part that changes the game is the parts that deal with the subconscious. Your understanding and mastery of energetics, beliefs, relations, history, your emotions, and your perceived identity, and so much more. That list goes on and on and on. But it is those subconscious parts that have the biggest impact upon what is ultimately seen above that water level. And until you make that subconscious part conscious, it's going to rule your life. And you're going to think your financial experience and results is just a matter of fate. And the fact is, it most certainly is not. I know it isn't, not only from my own life and my own experience, but also because this is the work that I do. So yes, I absolutely do have all the chops and all the skills and all the things you need to deal with the financial part of money. But honestly, that's 20%. That's 20, I'm even being generous. It's probably more about 5. It's the 95 that really needs to be dealt with, that really needs to change the game. And it's the 95 that ultimately creates the change, the focus, and the opportunity that we want to create in order to change our outcomes. And so, let me stop sharing my screen so I can see you all better. Hello, welcome back. Let me know if that landed with you, if that made sense, if you can now understand why this obsession with finance isn't necessarily helping you make any more money or create better outcomes. This obsession with financial management isn't what is ultimately changing and creating the results that you want in your life. Let me know, drop it in the chat. I'd be really, really interested to know if this is landing with you and making sense. I really hope it is. And I hope the diagram really helps to make it clear. And so the one actionable tip I have for you today is simply this, is for you to have a look at your beliefs around your mastery and your grasp of finance as it relates to money. Have you been believing that, oh, if I just get better at finance, I'll just get better at money? Because while there is absolute merit, and do not hear what I am not saying, there is merit in improving your financial understanding, your financial knowledge, your financial control, your financial independence and freedom. And that's not the bit that moves the needle. That's turning, apples into apple juice. But what seeds are you planting? How is that tree growing? What lies beneath that water level to really transform the cash you have in your world, how you feel about it, how worthy and deserving you feel of creating the cash that you want, because that's where the quantum shifts lie. Hey, Nicola, lovely to have you in the room. And so, ladies and gents, that's your actionable tip. If you know that you are looking at results in your finances that are not the results that you want, and yet you've done the financial things, you've done that mindset work, and you're still not seeing the results, then what I want to posit to you is that it isn't a function of what lies above that water, but what lies beneath. And so go. I say go, maybe I'm saying come. If this resonates with you, if it sounds like your vibe and it sounds like actually I'd quite like to find out a bit more about how the work that you do, Yinka, not only helps with what is above the waterline, but actually understands the full gamut of money and deals with what lies beneath too, then yeah, I'd love for you to come, step forward. The word you want is iceberg. Then I'll definitely know that you came from this video. But yeah, drop me the word iceberg if you want to find out more about how my work doesn't just deal with what's above, but also below. Because what is below is 95% of what is ultimately going to make the difference. And we need to make the subconscious conscious so that we can direct it in the way we want it to go. So fabulous, ladies and gents, that is everything I wanted to share with you today. I hope that's helpful. And I hope that you can see now that obsessing with finance is only going to help you sort out about 5% of what money truly is and how it works. And so I hope that you now have a much better understanding of how this gets to shift for you as you think about what lies beneath when it comes to the energetics and the emotion and the relation and the history and your perceived identity and all the other things on that list. So ladies and gents, thank you so, so much for joining me today. This has been such a joy. I'm so excited to learn new functionality on the tech. And I look forward to seeing you. I will see